To many, Daniel and the fiery furnace is an engaging story with a moral message, which it is, but that is only the tip of the iceberg. This account in the Old Testament book of Daniel is teeming with linguistic devices that would have stimulated in the people of ancient Israel a profound depth of prophetic meaning. In Daniel chapter 3, Daniel's 3 friends were cast into a fiery furnace by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. They were supposed to be burned to death as a punishment for refusing to worship a statue of the king, but instead they survived after declaring, "We are not going to serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." What makes the story prophetic is the 3 dramatic linguistic devices that can be identified by repetition. The image of Nebuchadnezzar is repeated 11 times. Fire is repeated an extraordinary 14 times. The third repetition, which appears 12 times, can only be appreciated in Hebrew because the English translation is woefully inadequate. This study will explain the meaning of the Hebrew to help you uncover a profound prophetic message. The image refers to a massive golden statue of Nebuchadnezzar, which he commanded that all in his kingdom should worship. Let me pose a provocative question for you to consider. How would you connect the image of the golden calf in the wilderness after the Exodus from Egypt with the golden image of Nebuchadnezzar? I will not answer this question, but suggest that you stimulate your own thoughts. However, a workbook accompanies the 12-part video teaching series on the book of Daniel that will guide you in meaningful discussion and further study. The next repeated word is fire, which may sound like a simple description of the fiery furnace, but the startling impact of 14 repetitions directs us to the future baptism by fire, which you should not interpret literally, by the way. The Bible Interact course on the book of Daniel will direct you to verses in both the Old and New Testaments that will offer prophetic information about God's future judgment by fire. The most powerful repetition has suffered from a disastrous English translation of men in all the most widely read versions of the Bible. The Hebrew word that has been translated men is giborim, which means not just any men, but very strong and powerful men. To make this repetitive word even more intriguing, there are 3 categories of giborim in Daniel chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar's soldiers are giborim, that is, powerful and mighty men. Daniel's 3 friends who are thrown in the fiery furnace are giborim, and a 4th person appears in the fiery furnace who is also described as gibor, which is singular for the plural giborim. As the story of Daniel and the fiery furnace continues, you will learn in the Bible Interact self-study course on the book of Daniel those whom God will select during the future baptism by fire to participate in the future battle that will defeat the forces of evil at the end of the Great Tribulation. You can learn more about this fascinating and provocative course on the book of Daniel on the Bible Interact website. There are 12 video teachings plus a meaningful and productive workbook for further study and discussion.